Good afternoon out there, everybody. I've had a few people ask me, how do I know how to program my lipo charger, and should I get a better one than I have? If you have, Traxxas's aren't bad, but they don't have an LCD display like this one does. It's dark right now. You can't see it because of the goofy camera angle. I apologize for that. But this one essentially has 4 buttons. This also is a 4-port charger, so I have 2 in the front and 1 on each side of the charger, so I can charge 4 batteries at once. Now you can run, some of these leads will be, they call these banana plugs maybe, otherwise they're just 4mm plugs. And this would be for a XT60 style battery, if you were charging that type of battery. So that would go into 1 port for your 1 battery, and then obviously you have your balance port. On the nicer chargers, they have a balance lead and a battery lead, or whatever it's called, but you'll have essentially these 2 guys here. Hopefully you can see that good enough. So this is going to be for your little balance plug. This is what you'll use to balance the lipo charger or lipo battery while you're charging in balance mode or when you're doing storage mode. So this is an XT60. So you buy one of these chargers. Let me make sure I'm on the right channel. Again, this is a 4-port digital, so I can program what I want each individual channel to do. And you don't need a super fancy one, but I just got this because I have multiple batteries and I have another 4-port there. If they made an 8-port, I'd probably be in heaven because I have so many batteries. I also run RC, obviously. So this is port A, so we'll put it on port A. Now, usually what you want to do is you want to charge 1 amp per 1,000 milliamps. So if this is a 5200, then you want 5.2 amps. This is a 3S battery, 11.1 milliamp, or 11.1 volt. Sorry, it's been a long morning. 11.1 volts. So what you want to do is make sure you put your charger on a 3S. And I'll kind of show you that once I set that up. And so, all right, so you're going to make sure your battery leads are plugged in, positive and negative, the way they should be. Make sure your balance board is plugged in its proper port and all the way seated. Because what these chargers do, a lot of these chargers are smart chargers, we'll say, just because they're going to know, they're only going to let you do so much with these batteries. So if you do something wrong, then it won't let you charge that battery. So let's see if this will let me do, there's options on here, and your charger is all going to be relatively the same. Remember, you're reversed because this charger is facing me. So if you have one of these and want to go along with me. So 5.2 amps is what I want to set it at. It's at lipo balance charge. So if I want to charge this battery, and with my batteries, I usually always try and balance charge them instead of just charge, because when I balance charge them, that keeps the cells healthy. Like this battery right here, I believe is probably 4 or 5 years old, and I always storage charge it when I'm done. Never charge it when it's hot. And there's a lot of information on these. I'm giving some guys that follow my channel a rough overview on how the easiest way to take care of a battery and keep this, we'll say it's a $100 battery, keep this battery lasting forever. So what you'll do is you'll put it at 5.2 amps. It's on balance charge lipo. It's already at 11.1 3S. So hit enter again. Now it's ready to charge. You can do that while it's still blinking. For this purpose, I'll show you how to just get that far and do it while it's not blinking. So now on your balance board, you're gonna have 2S, 3S, let me get this out of the way. You're gonna have 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, and 6S on your little balance board. And this is a 3S, so we'll plug it into a 3S port. And then what this charger requires after that is hit your start button. It'll check your battery. It'll ask you if you want to confirm. Hit yes. Now it's charging. And if you want to check your cells while it's charging, usually you'll hit, there's a status or whatever it's called on your charger button, it would be, when the charger's facing you, it would be the right button. Usually you can push that down and it says I'm at 385, 3.85, 3.85 individual cells. So that tells me exactly where my battery is. So I don't actually want to charge this battery, so I'll hit stop. All right, well, it's already put some juice in the battery. Now what do I do if I want to put this battery away and have it be within a safe range? Because usually you want to charge your batteries up to 4.20 per cell. Make sure and that's when you balance charge, you're charging them evenly. And then when you put your batteries away, you want to store between 3.80. This is what I do, and this is all how I operate. I try to keep it within the safest parameters possible, but just got to put a disclaimer out there because some people need help. So what I do is when my batteries are done running, let's say I charge this battery up full, I ran it in a crawler, I ran it in a 3S basher, whatever it was in, plain, doesn't matter. So the battery's done, and what you want to do is make sure the battery is back down to room temperature, or what I do is make sure the battery's back down to room temperature before I do anything with this battery, because I don't want this battery to be warm. I don't want the cells to still be excited. I mean, I don't know the technical terms, but to make it as calm, cool as possible. So, and what I also will do too, and you don't need to buy this one specifically because it's expensive, but this is a battery checker. This gives you the opportunity to plug in this long board port here, not this guy, but this long port here. It gives you the opportunity to check your cells of your batteries. So I have a battery that's been sitting for a while. It's a 3S battery. I don't remember the last time I did anything with it. So your negative wire, which is this little black one here, negative is always going to be at one end of your battery or the other. So your negative wire is going to go closest on this one, closest to this orange plug. So I'll plug that in and check to see where this battery is lying as far as safety. So this tells me what my individual cells are at. It tells me where my battery is in its storage capacity. So I'm at 3.81, 3.81, 3.81, and it fluctuates on the far end. I don't know if you guys can see that at all or not. Probably not, because this is just an odd thing for me to be doing. I haven't done this before. But anyway, so this is a nice thing to have, and you can get these balance checkers or battery checkers, and they're a servo tester, and there are multiple other functions on here. I just don't use them for any of that stuff, just because these are nice just to have on hand. And I'll even take these with me when I go trailing, when I go out bashing. If I got a battery that seems a little puffy, or seems like it got puffy and I don't remember it being that puffy, I'll pull out my checker and I'll throw that battery on there. And if I've got a cell that's dangerous, meaning if I have one cell on a 3S or 4S battery that's really low, and the other 2 or 3 or whatever it may be are on par with one another, then I will wonder if this battery's on its way out. So get a battery checker. It's just a nice thing to have. The other thing is, okay, now back to this battery. I've ran this battery in my boat, plane, car, whatever it was, and it's back down to room temperature. How do I take care of that? I don't ever let my batteries just sit. Say I've ran it, it's back down to room temperature, and I think, it ran itself dead, it should be safe. Well, let's say it ran itself down to 3.00 volts per cell. That's dangerous, in my opinion, for a battery to be that low. So what I will do is I will go to my 2 center buttons, the left and right button on a charger with the 4 buttons here. And I will go to, there's a charge option, lipo charge, lipo fast charge. I don't ever fast charge a battery, ever, unless I'm racing, and then the batteries are usually junk after a season. That's why you don't fast charge. I don't fast charge. The other one is lipo storage. So yes, I want lipo storage. It's gonna ask me, blink, when I push this the start button, what's the amperage of the battery? It's 5.2 amps. It's gonna ask me the cells. It's 3 cells. So now it's all set. I'll push and hold. It's checking the battery, making sure everything's plugged in, making sure there isn't a dangerous cell on the battery, whatever it may be. It'll ask me if I want to stop or start. I want to start. And then it'll start walking through its process. And there you go. The battery's balanced within storage mode, and it's all set to go. Big batteries. So like a battery of this size, what you want to do is usually you want to make sure you've got a charger that can handle it. 2 of these channels on this charger are a higher output than the other 2, and I don't remember which 2. I haven't used this charger in a while or charged this battery in a while. So you want to make sure everything is the same. You also want to use the proper plug, a plug that matches this one. I don't want to try and use an adapter. I don't want to try and use something that is an in-between, like one of these. This is a Traxxas to an XT60. For a battery of this size, there's no way I would use an adapter. Now, that's not saying for a battery of this size, I wouldn't use an adapter. In this charger is a Dean's plug. So that's your T plug or your red plug or your Dean's plug, whatever you want to call it. Learn the names of your plugs. That'll help you when you're looking for something at your local hobby shop too. So you've got Dean's on one side and or T plug. We'll call it Dean's for the rest of this. And then XT60 on the other side for my battery. So this is a small battery, so it's no harm, no foul using that. And again, we're using our balance lead and our charger lead or battery lead to charge or storage or balance whatever we're going to do with this battery. Again, plug this in, plug it in. This would be a 3S, so you would go up 2S, 3S, so you go up to your second plug in your board. And when you do that, that makes sure the charger knows what battery you have plugged in. Because if you plug that into a 4S lead, it would actually, let's do that. Let's test it. Usually it'll send you an alarm and tell you one of your cells are dangerously low. So we're going to plug this battery, this 3S, what is this, 4200 milliamp battery, into a 4S battery port. And we'll see, we'll see if we can even get it in there because they have funny plugs. All right, so it's plugged in. That is on C. So we'll go down to C. It's already set to lipo. We want a balanced charge. We'll put the amperage down to where, oh, I backed out of that one. Back down to where it is. This is a 4200, so put it on 4200. And it gives me the option for 3S. But let's put it on 4S because it's in the 4S port. We'll hit charge. It's checking. Oh. Nope, error. It says cell error. So that means it's recognizing that one of your cells are bad on this 4S battery. That's not a 4S. And it won't let you charge it. So that's a safety feature of the charger, which is really nice. But let's hit stop. Let's go battery lipo. And let's plug this in to the 3S port where it should be. It's already at 4.2 amps, and put this at a 3S, balanced charge. And again, I just moved it down to the 3S port. It asks me if I want to charge or stop, enter or stop, and it starts putting it into charge mode, balanced charge. So we're done with that. Let's go back to storage, and you never want to discharge a lipo either. Discharge is usually saved for nickel metal hydride, NIM batteries, or nickel cadmium. And I don't know anybody in the hobby that uses nickel cadmium anymore. There are some out there, I'm sure of it, that are probably maintained very well, but no one that I know uses them. And I don't even carry them. So we're put it into storage. It's asking us if we want to confirm or stop. We want to confirm. Let's check our cells. 3.82, 3.82, 3.87. Okay, so it'll balance that one cell out. So you want to go through and cycle your batteries, or you want to go through and check your batteries minimally once a month. Let's say if you did it every 2 weeks. If you've got 15 batteries, well, you need to maintain 15 batteries. Otherwise, you will have 15 batteries that are garbage, at the very least. So hopefully that helped you guys. If you have any questions on charging big batteries, and it's finished. what the better batteries are to buy, connectors are to buy for different cells, stuff like that. I'll help you as best I can. I always try and give guys as much insight onto this stuff as I can. Like my customers, when they come into the store, I always try and make sure I give them as much information as I can on a product they're buying or even looking at buying. So that way they're as educated as possible and they didn't waste their money. So, all right, guys, that's it for me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, like I said, give us a subscribe, like, share. If there's any other video content you guys would like to see on here, if there's something you're curious about, like saving a dead cell in a LiPo battery instead of chucking it out, that's always a possibility. Oh, another thing, never leave your batteries charged, never leave your batteries charged overnight, or if you're not going to run the truck within, we'll say 6 to 12 hours. The other thing is never leave your batteries plugged into your vehicle overnight, sitting in a garage, in a bathroom, in a kitchen, in a outside, wherever it may be, because that degrades the quality of the LiPo battery. So you're hurting yourself. You're going to run that battery down to where you're going to lose a cell, or you're going to possibly have that battery get puffy. And usually that's a really high likelihood of batteries getting puffy is left plugged in overnight or for a multitude of time. Not discharged or stored. Discharge is not a thing. Storage charged. If you don't storage charge your LiPos on a regular basis, that could lead to a cell going bad, your battery getting puffy. The other thing is just overall misuse. Like if you've got a low output LiPo, this is a 50C. Let's say I run these on my XRT. Let's say you're trying to run this battery on a 6S truck, and this is a 4S battery. 4S truck, and the output is 20C. The C rating is your burst or your nitrous. The milliamp rating is your gas tank. So if it's 9,000 milliamp, that's roughly 9,000 gallons of gas. I don't know, just your gas tank. So the bigger the milliamp, the longer runtime you're going to get. The C rating is going to be your burst or your nitrous. So when you hammer down on it real quick, the higher the C rating, so closer to 100 you get, the more punch you're going to get out of the battery. Also, though, there's potential there for your battery to go dead a little sooner. Whatever, you just have a couple of these on hand if you can afford it. Batteries do get expensive, so that's why you need to take care of your batteries. Other than that, guys, I hope you're having a great afternoon, and we'll see you next time.